It looks like, things are kind of settled for now, but the names Virginia and UNC continue to
Hmm.
come up when it is in reference to the SEC or Big Ten in the future. Where do you see a program like Virginia? You could talk about UNC as well. Where do you see programs like that? Maybe five, I can't remember what that deadline is, but where do you
2030.
2030? So yeah,
Yeah.
5 years. Where do
Yeah.
you see programs like Virginia and UNC?
Well, it's a great question. It's one that everybody wants the answer to because we're all ready for 2030 to be here so we can finally figure out what exactly is this all going to happen, right? I don't know. What is the landscape going to look like in 2030, right?
Exactly.
We're in year one of rev share. How is this going to affect teams as we continue to move forward in this era? Are there going to be the conferences set up the way that they are right now? The elite power four is going to break off and do their own thing, right? I mean, there's so much still that's up in the air. And the reason 2030 is the date for folks who are like, why is it 2030? That's when the television contracts start coming up for the Big Ten. And then I think the SEC is the next year.
Yeah.
So that's when typically you see a lot of moves being made. Obviously, with the overall, dominance as a program, Virginia and North Carolina, right, from an all sports perspective, right? If we're taking football out of the equation, because football at both those schools are not
Yeah.
driving the train right now, right? Even though a lot of the realignment decisions are football related decisions, I think in the case of Virginia and North Carolina, the overall sports excellence plus the regions in which they're located makes them valuable because the SEC doesn't have teams in this area, and Virginia brings with them the DMV like television region, right? And
Sure.
North Carolina brings North Carolina, and neither does the Big Ten. And if you're the Big Ten, right, and you're trying to one up the SEC, you need to try and get into the South at some point, right? That's the one region that you're not in right now. North Carolina is a program. We just had a huge story on North Carolina, and a source had mentioned to me, all this investment that we're making in football, yeah, don't think people around here aren't talking about the SEC, right? So it's obviously front of mind for administrators as they try and figure out what the landscape is going to look like. But I think both of those programs are well positioned. Football's key, though. And so that's why it's important here right now over these next 5 years for Virginia to be better in football, for North Carolina to be better in football. I mean, this is the reason North Carolina
Mhm.
made the investment. They know they
Yeah.
had to be better at football.
In Virginia
So,
as well, with
yeah.
they're approaching the transfer portal right now. It seems like they are pushing their chips in. They're like, we've got to get better here if we want to be attractive in the long run.